Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and today I will be ranking the top 10 MCU heroes with the release of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now, feel free to share your ranking down below in the comments, and now let's start. Coming in at number 10 is Shuri, a character that started out as a supporting character in the first Black Panther, but then as time went on, she became a little more of a major character. And then after Black Panther Wakanda Forever, she was the standout, and she did a great job at leaving off for her brother's arc. And Black Panther Wakanda Forever really improved both Black Panther's character and Shuri's character, and I hope to see more of her in the future. Coming in at number 9 is Yondu, a character that also started out as a supporting character when we first saw him in the first Guardians, but then in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, he was probably the biggest part of that film, and it did a great job at showing why Yondu did what he did, and his final sacrifice at the end was so sad, but it was executed perfectly, and it was a very satisfying end to Yondu's character arc. Coming in at number 8 is Black Panther, a character that had a great introduction in Captain America Civil War, and then in Black Panther, he was the standout, and he was a great character, and it did a great job at showing us the world of Wakanda. And in Infinity War, he was also a standout character. And then his death off screen was very sad, and it did a great job at making us care about his character. And it was a very satisfying end to Black Panther. Coming in at number 7 is Captain America. Now, I understand this might be in your top 3. However, I never really had that same connection. Now, granted, he has one of the best origins in the MCU. And when we first saw him in Captain America, the First Avenger, he was already a character that I really liked. And then he improved over time with, in Captain America the Winter Soldier, with spy thriller, and Captain America doesn't trust people as much, and in Civil War they did a great job at building up to his end in Avengers Endgame, which was a very satisfying end to his character arc. Now, coming in at number 6 is Star-Lord, a character that I loved the first second I saw him in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and he never let up. And he's a character that can easily be in the top 3, depending on how Guardians of the Galaxy 3 goes. Yeah, his character arc was great, daddy issues, the way they executed it was great, him being the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and, just everything that has to do with him in any of the films that we saw him in was great, and I do think he might be in the top 3 after Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, coming in at number 5 is Vision, a character that might not be in your top 10. However, I just really liked Vision from the first second I saw him in Avengers Age of Ultron, which, as much problems I had with that movie, Vision wasn't one of them. In Captain America Civil War, it did a great job at connecting to Age of Ultron, and his character, him then dating Wanda Maximoff was executed great, and then his final sacrifice, when he was willing to sacrifice himself for the stone, was very powerful, and him dying to the hand of Thanos was very sad, but very satisfying. And obviously, it was fun to see him in WandaVision. Now, coming in at number 4 is Iron Man, Now, I understand he might be at your number 1. However, I've never had that same connection. Now, granted, I was just as sad as any of you guys when he died in Avengers Endgame and made the final sacrifice. And he obviously started the MCU, so I do need to give him respect for that. And, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of his solo films, I just, he's always the standout in everything. And he just doesn't stand out to me as much as the top 3. But I still really like his character, obviously. Now, coming in at number 3 is Thor. Now, I understand his first 2 films weren't great, and those are some of my least favorite MCU films. However, Thor Ragnarok started to really embrace Thor as a character, and Thor Love and Thunder is one of the best films in the MCU. And, Thor has probably the most tragic arc in the MCU. However, it did, and even though those, not everything was written the best, Chris Hemsworth's performance was great, and Thor is a character that it's really fun to see him join the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, coming in at number 2 is Spider-Man. Now, I understand he might be in your number 1, which he was very close to being my number 1. However, number 1 stood out to me a little more. Now, granted, his trilogy is one of the best trilogies in all of the MCU, and just his journey throughout the films was great. Him being mentored by Tony Stark, but then Far From Home, he needed to learn how to be on his own, and then Spider-Man No Way Home might be my favorite film in the MCU, and it just is I just really love this character, and I hope to see more of him in the future. But coming in at number 1 is Doctor Strange, a character that I loved the first second I saw him in Doctor Strange, and every time I see him, I like him even more. In Avengers Infinity War, he obviously had to make sacrifices, and he gave the stone to Thanos. In Avengers Endgame, when he opened a portal, it was so satisfying. And Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness did a great job at continuing his arc, and I have no doubt that he'll continue to be a great character in the future. Now, that's just my ranking. Feel free to share your ranking down below in the comments, and I cannot wait to rank the top 10 MCU villains. And I will be ranking the MCU movies at the end of the month. Now, thanks for watching, and peace out.